Question number 4, I'm asking to list the categories of deductible expenses for itemized deduction.
Interest?
Let's actually try to do it in order. Before interest, what do we have?
Taxes.
Medical.
Oh.
Medical expenses, and remember, medical expenses have a 10% AGI floor, which means in order for you to deduct it,
everything after 10% of your.
correct, you deduct everything in excess of the 10% AGI floor. So it's certain medical expenses. So over-the-counter medication generally does not count. So we're talking about prescription, doctor visit, health insurance premiums, dentist visits, glasses, contacts, etc., etc. All right, so what's the next category?
Interest.
How about taxes?
Mortgage.
Interest. Well, let's talk about each one. Taxes. What taxes are included as itemized deduction?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Real estate tax, personal property tax, state income tax, or sales tax deductions. So those are your itemized deductions for taxes. Again, that's the real estate taxes, personal property tax, state income tax, or sales tax deduction. Okay, for interest, what's deductible for interest?
Your mortgage interest?
Yeah, your acquisition interest, first mortgage up with the acquisition indebtedness up to $1 million. Then we have home equity interest, and the interest principal balance on that is $100,000. Then we also have what? What else? Investment interest. The investment interest is limited to the investment income. So if you get a loan to buy, securities, let's say stock, there has to be dividends, capital gains, and it's limited to investment income. Now, if you get a loan and you buy municipal bonds, municipal bonds are excluded. Municipal bond interest, that's excluded, so that the interest will not be deductible. What else do we include after interest? Before that, before miscellaneous.
Oh, that stuff.
Casualty and theft.
Casualty, we got contributions to,
Casualty
Casualty
theft
and
loss, that's the first one. Again, it has to be a sudden occurrence, and then there's 2 floors for casualty theft losses.
2%?
There's actually $100 per occurrence.
Right, and 2%.
And the 10% overall floor. So the $100 per occurrence, and then you add up all the losses after the $100 per occurrence, and then you take the 10% AGI floor on top of that. The 10% is on total losses. And then you said charity. Somebody said charity.
Yes.
All right.
Charity, as we mentioned, it has to be to a qualified organization. All not-for-profit organizations can receive contributions, but not all contributions are tax deductible. For this, make sure you ask for a tax exempt letter. They should be able to give it to you. Any limitations regarding charity in terms of AGI? There's an AGI ceiling, right? For charity, the maximum amount that you can deduct is what? 50% of your adjusted gross income. If it's limited, then whatever's disallowed can carry forward for up to 5 years. After charity, you already said that we have miscellaneous expenses, and there's 2. Miscellaneous expenses subject to the 2% AGI floor.
And the non-2%.
And then the miscellaneous expenses, which have no floor. So miscellaneous expenses subject to the 2% floor, these are your employee business-related expenses, your unreimbursed business-related expenses for employees. These are your production of income deduction. These are some of your investment deductions. Safety deposit box included in there, tax preparation fees included in there, job hunting expenses is included in that category. Again, miscellaneous expenses, the sum of those deductions would have to be greater than 2% of your adjusted gross income. That's where the 2% AGI floor comes in, from the miscellaneous expenses.
So it's greater than 2% of your AGI?
Correct. It would have to be greater than 2%. That's how the floor works in each of these categories. We have miscellaneous expenses that have no floor. There's one that's a very common expense. There's actually a couple in that category, but there's one that I've actually stressed about in this class.
Moving?
No, not moving.
Transportation?
I'll give you a hint. This type of expense is limited to the income from that type of activity.
Hobby?
Gambling losses.
Gambling.
Gambling losses. So gambling losses will be in that category. That's limited
Right.
to gambling income. You have to have gambling income to deduct gambling
loss.
losses. All right, number
So
5.
keep playing till you win.
Keep playing until you win. Yes, keep playing until you win. So